computer. I've been loading these to YouTube. So I do post the link in my group, Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. So do look on there or ask me to share the link with you if you want the recording. Right, so let's get started. I'm sorry it's a bit later today. CAD JPY. I didn't have anything on this. I'm not going to put it on the, I do find my system slow today, so probably the sooner I can shut some windows down, the better. It's not on a scan anywhere for me. You can see it's sucking along the 62. So there's nothing for us, for me to trade on CAD JPY. So I'll tick that one off. I have had some alerts go off. There's another one that's just gone off. I want to close that one. Okay, we'll go to Euro GBP. That's come up next. Let me press OK with me. I did have a couple marks that I liked, but I didn't. This for potential buy. Euro GBP, there we are. So I didn't mark Euro GBP, I just put alert set. So this is the Harmonic Scanner. If you're in the 7-day free trial, you'll be using BYOB. Excellent, excellent system with three confirmations. And the Ninjacator, I do encourage you to also go in the im.center Academy and look at the training in there, Units 1, and understand the basics of the Forex market, and, you know, get self-sufficient yourself. This is on the 15-minute. It's off a D point. It's just coming up. It's just touched that alert, because for me, I only take up to the median point. It has rejected off quarter theory, and it is above the 62, which is the sign for a buy. But in this case, it's still below the 15-minute moving average. Now, the 62 is similar to that little purple. I think it's purple on Kevin's Ninjacator here. So we'll put the Bollinger Band on, and you can see that little purple line. It's almost exactly the same as the orange 62. And that's the average of price over 62 or 50 days. And you can see it's now coming above that, but it's close to the Bollinger Band that's restricting at the top. It's not quite ready to break above that just yet. But it is looking a little bit interesting. But e.g. Euro GBP is generally a slow moving pair, and we are now out of session for those two. So keep an eye on that, as indeed I will, but we might come back to that at the end if we have time. And let's move on to next one is Euro CAD. I'll keep that one open. So I haven't put on the rest of the, oh, got Euro CAD open twice. Didn't think I had. Maybe from earlier. Okay, so EuroCAD, I've got it rejecting off quarter theory for a sell. So this is indeed, and I marked that up before, a couple of hours before I came on here. That's my pitchfork. I like to take trades off there. That's a nice little sell there where it crossed over last night, and it's moved down, given us a break in the retest and of the 62. This is on the 15-minute, and this is coming down. So we might look at this one. A little bit late on an entry for me. Normally I go off these trend lines here. I'm not doing anything different from what you're doing on BYOB. It's just a slightly different visual way of looking at it. I'm working off the reversal points, which just is a lazy way of looking at 5 key reversal points on the Harmonic Scanner, and then putting pitchforks on because it saves me drawing loads of lines of support and resistance. So I think pitchforks have got Fibonacci in them, and they're just trend lines. So it's the same thing. Quarter theory, all that is, it's called quarter theory because of the way banks settle up money. And that also is a line of support and resistance. So I'm doing exactly the same thing if you're on BYOB. I've just got these, you know, set up in this way. So let's have a look at the, let's put our candles on. You'll follow this process every time. Hi Kanashi on. That will show us the flat bottom. And then the SAR flip is on. Put our stochastic on because we want to see if it's in the extreme outside the purple box. And you can see on the 15-minute, now I don't go up on higher time frames on BYOB, but it works perfectly well on longer time frames. If that's what suits you, then go for it. It's the same confirmations. It's just going to take you longer than if you're entering on a 15-minute. So we've got a little bit of a gap there. It's come down to the bottom, but it's not an extreme. It was up here a little bit earlier on, but we didn't have, we had a wicky little candle there, and not a lot of volume in the market on EuroCAD at the moment. So we probably haven't got a trade, but we'll have a look with our indicator. Now that is saying sell, so I'll just highlight it for us here. So we've got the 62 below the 15-minute for a sell. We've got the SAR flip. We did have flat bottom candle there, but it's already worked its way down, and in fact it's come below the 50 line on your Bollinger Band. You've got fairly tight Bollinger Band, and you've only got a few pips till it reaches the edge. So not a lot of room for a trade for us on that. You know, nothing really after your spread on that. And also you can see that these are what they call doji candles. So they are indecision candles. So it's not deciding what it wants to do. So that's what we've got on EuroCAD at the moment. And the reason I'm taking this off is just to see, we might come back to it at the end, if it does continue to work its way down. So I'm just going to have a look at the 1 minute. So you've got, in 60 minutes, you've got 1 candle. In 15 minutes, you've got 4 candles. And in the 1 minute, you've got 60 candles. So you're seeing a lot of wrinkles, the same across each time frame. But you're just seeing more of, you know, the close-up, like using a magnifying glass. So I just want to see what it's doing. 1 minute gives you the most accurate real time. So you can see it's still hugging the 62. The 62 is coming down quite nicely, but you've got a wick candle now. Also pay attention to the time. We're at 1:25 in the UK. I did look at Forex Factory earlier. 7 p.m. UK time is USD news, and 7:30, that's red flag news, UK time this evening. So we're okay for trading today on the news. And let's have a look at the trend. So we have got lower highs forming and lower lows forming. So if I show you what we mean by that, and that is another one that you'll learn in the academy, an indication of what the channel is doing, because you can channel trade. So you want to get as many touches as you can on your candles. Sometimes I go to the wick and sometimes not. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That just slipped slightly there. I wanted it on that lower one. So I put all my alerts in blue, but this is a trend line, and I put all those in green, then I remember what I'm doing. And also I don't need to have it extended. So there we are, that's there. So I'll just, and you want to have the same angle when you clone this to get the channel. I can't really, so you can see it's not very I'll put it there. So I've got 1, 2, I've only got 3 good touches, but usually that's the minimum you want. So we just clone that, and then you can see it's trading. It's not really a very good channel, I don't think, but that's how price is looking at the moment. You could move it out there, but I don't think that does us a lot of good, because sometimes what you can do if you're in a sell, you could take the little reversal and then down again for another sell. So what we want here is for it to stay in this channel to show us that the candles are still coming down. And I'll just check a little indicator I use called the HAL, which shows me on 15 minutes. If it's in red, then that's also saying price wants to continue to come down. So whilst you're watching me, you could be looking at this pair with your BYOB on, and then have a look. This will help you get more confidence with doing your own analysis and see how your indicator compares on, say, the 5 or 15 minute. If you think there's some pips there, where it is in relation to your 50 line, the purple line, how much room you've got on the stochastic at the bottom. If we put that on, so you can see on the 1 minute, of course, it's bouncing along the bottom because this is very wrinkly on the 1 minute. So it's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. In there it is touching the 62 again. Little green spike on the 1 minute of it, but it's still in red on the 15 minute. So, but we didn't really have a lot of confirmation on the 15 minutes, but have we got a confirmation on BYOB for, no, you can see it's right down at the bottom there, and it's bouncing along the bottom like it did here. So it could continue to bounce along and then decide it's going to have another go at dropping some more, because the indications are it does want to go down, but I haven't got anything on that at the moment. I'll go to 2 of the ones that I have marked up as being potentially interesting, and I did have alerts go off, but not on the ones I've marked up. So, oh yes, I did. One of them was USD CAD, UCAD, and I had the alert go off on that, but I was busy doing something else. So just before we came on, where's USD CAD? So whilst I'm doing this, you can be pulling that up on your screen. Let me just wait for that cursor to. So what I'm waiting for on USD CAD, this was a buy potentially, but I wanted it to come back up to this point here. That alert must have gone off earlier actually, because that was, oh no, wait a minute, I have to go down to the 1 minute, see if it's touching it there. I don't know when that alert went off then. I must have not checked the timestamp on the alert symbol properly, sorry, my bad. But it's you can see how it's crossed the 15, but it's not crossed back. That's still on top. So that's a very good confirmation that it still wants to be in buy mode. It's still quite a way away from my next trend line and the line of support and resistance, ACA, pitchfork and quarter theory. So that's why I've set the alert up there. But we can have a look at what the indicator is going to tell us. So Heikin-Ashi, SARS, stochastic, and very colourful. We've got it near the top. This is on the, hang on, 5 minute, wrong time frame. So we've got it halfway, coming halfway up, so no trade there, it's not in the extreme. And it's coming to the top. So this is probably going to say that we want to wait. We want to wait for it to come up again, and then you might want to be looking for that for a sell. I won't be. I want to wait for it to come up to this point and wait for it to go on up at some point. So we've got a buy. We did have a buy signal there on the 5 minutes, which is around about halfway. So not a brilliant trade. That's on the 15 minute. So nothing for us on UCAD. I thought there might be. There isn't. USD chef, Swiss franc. Where have we gone? I might have USD JPY. Oh, I've got that up twice. Delete that one. And let's find our USD Swiss franc. Slow to load. Upward scan. I know this was one that we were looking at in our chat. And if you are putting lines on and things you want to come back to later, you can just come back down to this hamburger, or you can click on it and it'll bring up a little padlock, or you can lock everything using this magnet and the lock symbol on the side, and then things won't slip. So, okay, so we have got this now. That's why I had the alert there. We have got that coming up. I'll take that off. Coming up above quarter theory. And let's see what we can do with this. I'm on the 15-minute, so it's broken that line of support and resistance. And it's just crossing some little extensions on an old set of trend lines, pitchfork, that I had. It's well above the 62. Now, it may well retrace, because normally I'll look for a break and a retest of this trend line pitchfork level here, and it's got quarter theory in the way, so it may come back and just retrace quarter theory because it's only moved. If we come to the 1 minute, so we can see it in magnification. Let's wait for the quarter theories to load, and then we'll put the indicator on the 5 minute. So I'm liking this because it's coming away from the quarter theory. It has broken and retested, but only by 2 or 3 pips on the quarter theory. At a little, about 5 pips. So we might want to look at this for a buy. Let's just have a look at where the pivots are. Lazy man's highs and lows, that's all this is. So, you know, it is forming an upward trend. I'll just show you that upward trend here. I haven't quite, the only thing I don't like about this is I haven't quite had a 10 pip break and retest. It's missed that pitchfork level by about 3 pips, and normally I'll wait for a 10 pip break. So that's, in theory, says to me it could want to come all the way back to that level, but it does have to get through quarter theory to do that. And sometimes obviously, as you know, price doesn't do that. But let's see if we've got something here. And there we are. That's there. Something like that. So it has broken and retested, and it's respecting the 62, and it's still coming up. So let's put the candles on. High Kanashi. Go up to the 15-minute. Flat bottom candle there, I think. And SAR flip. And the stochastic. Let's see what this is telling us. Now on the 5 minute, it's telling us that it's overbought, that it does indeed, as you can see there, want to come back down. But it's going to struggle to get through these two, I would think. And on the 5 minute, of course, that's a lower time frame. Sorry, that's the 15 minute. So on the 15 minute, it is saying it does want to retrace. But I like the look of this one for a buy up to. So if we mark this once it's retraced, so wait for it to go potentially back to. Let's mark this. You've got the quarter theory at 0.97500, so it might go down back to that, or it might come back to 0.97437 or thereabouts, because obviously it depends how long that takes it. USD Chef is quite a slow moving pair, and it's in a little wedge there, price trap, but it will have to make its mind up one way or the other. So if it does go up, it wants to come up there 40 pips to the, it's slightly above that now, to this next pitchfork. So you're looking for it, so I'll put that down as a retrace and then buy up to 0.97890. And if my figures aren't clear enough where to get in and out, and you're not sure what the stop loss is, as I said yesterday, then, you know, please do ask. I can't make it clearer than that, or private message me, or post in my group, Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, and I'll very, very happily always help anyone. Make sure your stop loss is always above the previous SAR if you're in a sell, or below the previous SAR if you're in a buy, and work out your stop loss ratio and use your lot size calculator, particularly if you're on a live account. Now let's put our indicator on, and this indeed said buy at about, that was at about 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, open of London, and it's still working its way up. So let's see what it says on the 5 minute with an indicator, and you can see it's saying it wants to, so you can see it's not moved a lot of pips, but that's looking good for the buy. It might take some time. So that's USD Swiss franc. Let me just mark that one off. And let's go now to Euro CAD. Euro CAD 15 minute. It's in a downward trend, and it's below quarter theory. You can see it's very near the bottom, so no trade for us on the 15 minute at the moment. In fact, in theory, you'd be waiting for it to reverse, and you want the buy back up. But you can see it's a downward scan. The green lines are going downward, and you've got the lower highs forming and the lower lows. So, and price is being pushed down by the 62, and it is now below the quarter theory. So that's all looking good for a sell. I'm going to take that alert off. I don't want that up there anymore. And I'll take the pivots off. Oh, so I had this marked because I was looking at it for us before we came on as well. So it didn't respect that channel. There's the 62, and it's broken above, but it's again, it's failing to retest the 15 minute or the quarter theory. And you can see it is over. This is the 1 minute. You wouldn't want to trade off this on BYOB. You can see it's above the purple box. It is oversold, so it is working its way down. So I think with this one, we'll put our indicator on and take it to the 5 minute, see what that's telling us, and just move our stochastic up a bit, because you want to be able to see the extremes. The 80 and the 20 are very important. 80 there, 20 there. So you're halfway up. it's saying it's working its way up. So it's now above your 50 purple line. So it's coming up. It's coming up probably to retest this 1.450. You've got a SAR flip there, but you haven't got a flat bottom candle. Let's put that on. Sorry, wrong candles. Let's move that across. I have got a buy signal there, but I wouldn't be buying this because of this line here, and it's very near to the outer edge of the Bollinger Band. If you did get in now, there's, you know, on the 5 minute, this is it's, I don't think there's, it's just wicked out there at the top. There aren't that many pips anyway, and it's wicked out at the top. So yeah, you wouldn't want to touch that at the moment as a buy on the 5 minute, because you haven't got enough room to move with your pips after spread from the broker, and the, you know, by the time you've pressed the button and the order's been placed. So let's go to the 15 minutes. So it's now slowed down. Bollinger Bands are constricted. It's in the purple box, so it's not reaching the bottom. It's not in the extreme. But EuroCAD, I think is, I'm just going to go back to look at the overall trend. So EuroCAD sell. Let's just see the overall trend. Again. So we've got the hull, the multi-time frame analysis, MTFA hull, simply shows me that price over 15 minutes time frame is saying red. Two long flips to green I'd pay attention to, but as I don't trade, I'm sort of an intraday scalper hybrid. I do a bit of swing trading within that. So I've decided now not to look, I don't need to look at the hull MTFA on the 60 minutes. Just going to keep it set to the 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, it says it still wants to go down. We have had one long flip to the green on the 1 minute, but it hasn't flipped here on to say it wants to stay green. Sometimes it'll flash green and, you know, go back to red, or vice versa. But you can see now it's rejecting off that quarter theory, and it is coming down. So we could look at that for a sell, but you need to look at the time as well. We're coming up to nearly 10 minutes before the hour. It's 1:45, and normally I don't like to trade in that 10 minutes, but it is coming down. So if you've got your indicator on, let me take off the hull, and let's just see what the indicator says now. Give it a moment to load. Press the wrong button, that one. And put the stochastic on. So it is coming up to saying here that it's overbought on the 5 minute, and it wants to come down. It's just nudging the 50 there, but the bands on the Bollinger are quite tight. So wait for it to flip, get in below 1.45 as it comes down, and then we're looking for let's look on the 15 minute. And let me make sure, double check. Put the Heikin-Ashi on, sorry. Let's see what the flat bottom candle is saying. You haven't got a flat bottom candle yet. It did say sell there, but as you can see, it retraced, and it is coming back up. So it's kind of can see for a few hours it's only done how many pips. So this might move later because this is only 7 pips. So keep an eye on that for a sell down to about 1.44814, which is that next, which is the outer extension of the trend line, pitchfork off a reversal point. So that'll down there, but not at the moment. So that's Euro CAD. That might move later. Shut that one down. And next, let's look at, I've got nothing on GU, possible sell on, what else did I have? Let's just get rid of that. Let's look at Euro USD. Let's have a look at another Euro. Euro USD. I had quarter theory sell, but look for the pitchforks. It's got a pitchfork trend line here. So you can see that this is the 1 minute chart, that it has moved now off. That's why I'd set that there. Just get rid of that. But we've now not got a lot of pips because there were, I didn't get onto it earlier, but that's only 5 pips. So at the moment, price has got to make its move between these two lines, which are quite strong lines of support and resistance. So it might play along in here for quite a while in that channel. Now you can trade channels, but you need to look at how many pips you're trading. Some people do very successfully on that small scalping, but it's not really worth it under 10 pips. That's only 5.7 pips. So by the time you've taken the spread and commission out, it's not really a lot to play with. But keep an eye on that one for selling. It is a downward scan, but there's nothing really that we can do with that one at the moment until that broadens out. But we could put the 5 minute, and there you can see it here better with the downward trend. So let me just put the where's the indicator and the Heikin-Ashi and the stochastic. I've got right down there for some reason. Give that a chance to pull itself up. And let's get price over there. So at the moment it's saying it wants to buy. Although you've got very wicky candles, very small candles there, not a very good pattern. And it's on the outer edge of the Bollinger Bands. So at the moment it's trying to go back up to retest the 62, there's the 50, and there's the quarter theory all together. So it's retesting that area. So if you want to keep an eye on Euro USD, I don't want to trade it until it's come down to the pitchfork and done a break and a retest, gone down or like that. But keep an eye on it if you're doing some scalping at 1.1 flat is your quarter theory. Wait for it to come back up there, and then you could get some pips. You can see how it is going downwards, so you can get pips. You need to work out your pippage accordingly. So I'll just put down to approximately 1.09932 and more. Okay, so that's all we've got on Euro USD. Okay, sorry about that. Right, let's close that one. And what else have I got today? We've done EuroCAD. I had nothing on AUD/USD, nothing on UJ, nothing on ACAD. Euro GBP is very slow moving, and I've been looking at this for quite a while. And just have a look at that one. So you can see it is now moving up, and we have got it as a buy. I think I set this one up so you could have a look at that. And let's pull up our stochastics so we can see it properly. And you can see it's come off the D point here. Come off the D point there, broken and retested. So it is moving, but it is slow. I'll just put that has, you know, it's broken up over 20 pips. So I'm still looking at this for a buy, which is why I had the alert set there. That's on the 15-minute. So the stochastic saying it's overbought, and it's playing along here on this pitchfork, and it's very restricted. So, you know, it's a lot of consolidation going on today, probably because of two lots of red flag news on the dollar later on at 7 p.m, 7:30. So I might just move that there. Not doing anything at the moment. So nothing at the moment, but Euro GBP for a buy between if it breaks and retests the pitchfork at 0.84596 up to this point, which is 0.85000. So I hope that is clear enough on my figures for what I consider a trade. So I'll have that on my watch list and consider it called in this session if it does that. If you know, I can't help it, we can't take a trade now. So I hope you think that's kind of fair, because we do record our pips. That's certainly what I'm doing with this pair when it you know, makes its move. And we'll look at one last one. I've got so that's EG alert set for a buy, which we said we'd look at again at the end, which we've done. Hasn't moved a lot obviously yet. And I had about 14 pairs marked up, and I've looked at everything where I thought there was something that we could look at. Just go to this one. Sorry, it's my daughter. Call her in a minute. So you can see here on EuroCAD, the 62's come down below the 15. I'd set the alert there to see it was rejecting off quarter theory. So, and it is a downward scan. So I am liking GCAD for a sell, but we'll just mark this one up with BYOB as our last one, and then it'll be Sharon on at 2 p.m. So we'll head off for that. Just mark that as there. So let's put it on the 15-minute for BYOB. And put the candles on. Put the SARS on. And stochastic. Right, so we've got it down here saying on the 15-minute that it's not in the extreme and that it wants to come back up. So again, nothing much happening in the market at the moment. I'm sure things will move later, but it might be because of 2 lots of red flag news tonight. They're waiting for that. It does say sell. It does say sell there, and the 62 is I can't quite see what's happening on that, but as you can tell, the market's consolidating a lot at the moment. So very wicky candles. The 62 is above the 15, but it looks like it's flattened out, and anyway it's down below quarter theory. So definitely looking for GCAD for a sell, but it's not ready at the moment, and that sell will be between 1.715 down to, there's an old pitchfork there, so I'd take that, a note of that at 1.71053, and then possibly down to 1.70998, which is your quarter theory line of support and resistance. So I'll put old pitchfork there. Okay, so that's about all I've got for today. So I'm going to stop sharing. If you've got any questions in the last couple of minutes, please do feel free to ask, and I do appreciate you all for joining. And watch out for the red flag news on USD tonight. I've just made some notes on what quarter theory is, and I will be doing a short video on that at someone's request, putting the units in my group, and also one on how to connect the dots, how to copy and paste the harmonic scan across your trading view. And if you've got any other help that you need on technical analysis or anything, I'm in the same situation as you. I've just, on my journey as well, 2 years in May. So, and I find it a great way for me to learn as well, to share each day. And I hope it's helpful for you. So thank you very much for joining. I'll let you all go. Debbie.
Sarah, can I just ask one quick question?
Of course you can, Helen.
So thank you, that was really good. Could you just tell me, you seem to have an indicator line, which I think is the blue one that you call 15 minute, is that right?
Yes.
What is that, please?
Shall I show you quickly?
Thank you.
And if anyone needs to hop off to go on Sharon's, then please do. I'll just show Helen this indicator. So the 15 minute, that's because I look at chart setups and the movement on the 15 minute in order to get my entry on the 1 minute. Okay, so that's why it's important to me. It shows me the momentum. It shows me the momentum of the trade, and then I've got the 62, the 1 minute for the precise entry, like what's happening now, because there's 62 candles in that. It's the average of 62 days, and the 15 minute is made up of this, which is this one, settings 930, and that's made up of 62, because it's 62 days times 15 for the 15 minutes, and if you multiply that, that gives you 930. So if you are using it, you type in 930 there on your inputs.
Okay, great, that's lovely. So it's just an EMA at 930. That's lovely, thank you.
It's just an EMA with 930, and it's because I'm looking at the momentum of the trade showing me on the 15 minute, which is better for the momentum of the trade rather than the 1 minute, okay, which is I'm just using for the precise entry.
Okay, that's great, thank you very much.
It is one of my confirmations. I use it in every trade I do, but not on its own.
No, that's great.
Two others as well. Okay. So,
thanks very much.
Well, thanks for joining. I do appreciate it very much. I'm sorry it's a slow day today, for obvious reasons, because of tonight's red news, I think. Okay.